Hi, my name is Divyang. Good evening. Welcome to your Clapingo session.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Hi. So, Anshuman, how has your week been?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I enjoyed this week, even not this week, even everything is being great for me. So yeah, everything was fantastic.
Lovely. So, do you have any questions for me before we start?
Yeah, like could you please briefly introduce you? It would be better for me to understand you and like being further going into the conversation. Yeah.
Right. So, my name is Divyang. I have been born and raised in Mumbai, and I've been on Clapingo for the last 5 years. And yeah, I just like talking to people, helping them with whatever problems they're facing. And big fan of football. I guess that's about it.
Okay. Great. Yeah.
Awesome. Uh, all right. So, Anshuman, is there any particular topic you want to discuss today?
Not really. Like I love deep random conversation, which is being raw. So actually, I do not prepare anything. So whatever things we would be having in time, we discuss that. Yeah.
Awesome. Uh, I'd like to ask you, do you follow any sport?
Okay. I mean, following means if you ask me that only watching that or being indulged into that conversation or watching those things on social media, so definitely yes. But physically being there and playing those things is really hard for me these days because of my few of the past injuries I was having and uh, time circumstances also being there. But personally, yes, I love cricket most as this is the first love of every Indian player and even every Indian person. So yeah, I'm also a big fan of cricket.
Lovely. So, tell me a little bit about which team you follow, who's your favorite player? Have you ever played cricket, in your school or your college?
Yeah, sure. So talking particularly which team I do follow and what I love supporting is RCB. I know that it sounds weird because it is never had been won the match before. So that was the spirit because I love King Kohli. Not only because of his sports, the because of his personality, because of his aura, like his consistency, a lot of things matters for me. So for that sake, I personally follow his mindset and love towards the cricket, whatever he do. And, he's also really very physically active guy. If you just see the physique, oh my God. So he runs like a tiger. So everything matters for me. That's how I, start supporting the RCB even till date. Today is the match of RCB and I was watching, I mean, a few minutes before. So, and playing, once it comes to playing, definitely because I love cricket since my childhood, as every childhood but or every child do. So I started playing, but in the school days I was not like playing it because at that time parents somewhere there was few constant because I have to focus on studies as every parent of used to force us to study. I was doing so, but once I get free time, I was playing. In college, once I get some liberty because there I was not living with my parents, so I used to take my own stand, go with the my friends, and in between at my last year, I mean, I played 3 years cricket at the peak, like how much time I could dedicate unofficially. But that was not professional cricket. Let me tell you, that was more about playing with friends, gully like cricket. Having few of my friends bunch up together and dividing the team. That's how we began to play and played for more than 3 years. But at the third year, I mean, 1 year back, that was the June event that month. What is going on? So that time I was playing cricket. I was because I was leading. I was really good at this. I was batting and I was the captain of my team. I was also wicket keeping like Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So I was really superstar of my team, and I was heading a team that time also. Once I was playing for my team, I was being onto the ground. Uh, Full, faster baller. One of my friend was balling that time. He was running. Just that ball came to my bat, hit it on my bat, and caught to my left arm. That time I fell onto the ground. It was bleeding. I was, oh my God, I was blank. I even don't wanted to remember that moment because it was really hard to me get out of that. So till then, I don't know how. I mean, who helped me? My friends were there. They helped me to get out of the hospital, and I mean, then let me just come. I don't wanted to go into that phase, but hopefully, like it takes a month. I was onto the bed rest completely, but somehow I got recovered. In that sense, I got, oh my God, why it's just been with me. I really love cricket. I don't want it to leave it at all. But I feel once the time passes and it heals with the time, I got some understanding. But now I'm being settled. I can do everything. I'm completely fine. And but yeah, because of time constraint, I'm not getting time to play. So that was whole my journey, like how I started, how much I love, and yeah, definitely I play.
I can definitely see the passion. That's nice. But so now you're restricted to play and you just follow the game through IPL, I'm assuming.
Yep, right, right.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, the injury that you had, was it like you said it started bleeding? So was it like a small cut? Was it like a skull fracture? Did you damage any of your optic nerves? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, it was directly connected to retinal. It was not completely retinal detachment case, but somewhere it was having a scarring on very hard. So it took me a long time, almost 1 year. I was taking medicine and all. Even some of the time I go for consulting that everything is being good or not. So yeah, it was that scenario. Yeah,
But hopefully you're not facing any problems with your vision.
yeah, yeah. Of course, right now I'm completely fine.
Thank God. And that's nice to hear. Awesome. So do you follow, okay, you said you follow cricket, like I'm assuming you watch matches, right? Now, this is something that I do. I've never really spoken to anyone about this on video, at least on the session. But I play a game called Fantasy Premier League. Okay. So it's like, fantasy games, like basically you have to make
I
your own
understand.
team and you get points, right?
Yeah.
So India has a version of it. I don't play it. I have to admit I don't follow cricket at all. Okay. Like maybe if something pops up on my Instagram, I might notice it. But other than that, I don't actively look at games. I don't follow the draft and which team has which player, honestly. I
Right.
used to initially in the first 3, 4 years, I used to follow them, but I think I was more inclined towards football. But anyway, so we have this game called Fantasy Premier League because the English league is called Premier League, right? So there I have to basically make a team of 15 players with a budget of 100 million pounds, right? And obviously I can only play 11 of them at one time. Okay. And whatever points they score in the game through a goal or an assist or anything else, basically. Like there are bonus points as well, but I'm not going to get so deep into it. We get points for it, and at the end of the year, we'll see who in our footballing group is higher on the charts, right? So do you have, like, I mean there are apps. I know there are apps because I've seen the ads, but do you follow it like that?
I feel that you were talking about fantasy application, what India has been fantasized
I
these
don't
days.
know the names. I don't want to mention
Yeah,
the brand names, but
yeah.
I'm just
I
asking you if you follow cricket in that sense.
Not right, not right. I feel that, I mean, if I take it as in that aspect, so definitely, when I seen people around me are doing so, even some of the time I get fantasized with those that how it works. And few of the time I made the team also with a fewer amount of money, just to sake of knowing that how it works, how algorithm
Oh,
works.
you have to pay to create your team?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. Like
Oh.
there are
So
few
the
things.
app that I use, there's no money involved at all. So there's no betting, no money, nothing.
No, but what I know and how much I understand about these things, so definitely it needs money because every business is run about money, right? So
Okay.
somewhere they runs on marginal basis. So of course, like they need some money, and there are multiple. But I observed one thing. I really made few of the teams as I told that 2 or 3 times, and I was observing that how it works. And you won't believe that once I get the real insight, man, never go into that. Like for me, so after that because of my analysis, I find it really hard to get again into it because as far as I understand probability and mathematics, I never find like there is 0.0000 unlimited time one
Wow.
percentage chance to win you because lots of combination permutation are being there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I didn't know about the money factor because in the UK, the app that I'm talking about, it's not like a personal. I mean, Premier League is a personal brand, just how IPL is. But the Premier this app that I'm using is from the tournament itself. Like, it's not a third party app that's trying to make money off it. There are other apps as well that are doing this, but the most famous one is the one from the tournament itself, like the company that owns the tournament, like the English Premier League, they make it. So at least they don't charge us money. In terms of how they make money, I think it is just another tool to get exposure, get engagement, get
Right.
clicks or active users. I'm not sure how
Mhm.
they monetize that. Maybe for their sponsors, it's a big deal that somebody opens the tournament's app every day for like
Right.
a year. I think that's how they.
Mhm.
I don't think they charge money directly through the app. I think it's just more about we have the app and that adds 10 or 20% value to our brand, and we can, you know,
Got
entice
it.
more sponsors to this organization or to this name brand. So that's cool. But like you did the research and you found out how difficult it was to get up
Get
there,
it.
right?
Right, right. But I'm really fantasizing about the thing you told because in India, like what applications I know is really run behind money and they're getting run for. But I once you told that the league, what is being officially played or organizing the whole session, they itself are creating and giving the opportunity to the person to make their team. So let me know that what person do and why they get into that and how it works. I'm really fantasized because I love cricket.
Trust me, this is amazing. The way they've handled it is amazing because this FPL app has been available for the last 12 to 15 years, if I'm not wrong. So it's not like they've just started this. I think India has taken inspiration from the Premier League in a lot of ways in terms of getting the stars to buy the teams, to get more exposure, to get more interest into the brand. But in terms of FPL, again, like I said, if you have half an hour, just maybe do a little bit of research on the tournament itself, and then maybe it'll make sense to you how it works. But trust me, like I have a group that I go to play football with, close to my house, and the way people are obsessed with getting points, oh my God. And the good thing is there's no money involved. It is just about who has those
Right.
bragging rights. Like, hey, I got 100 points this week. What about your team? How many points did you get? And the average usually comes around 35 or 40, maybe even 50 points if it's a good game week, but there are a lot of goals, right? So at least in this sense, it is not corrupted by money or like by rankings and such. Obviously, a higher rank is a better way for you to feel confident about your decision making. But this has really thrown me for a toss, that the fact that you're saying that you can only make teams by paying some sort of amount in India. I
Right.
didn't know that was the case. Hmm.
Yeah, so do you really think that is being, going in India as well? I don't think that gonna work because people are here are either running out of the money or they just really want to make quick money. That is why, these applications are making money. So what do you feel that? Is it being available on India? Because I don't see these kind of applications. If there would be available, but there are not that much of the customer would be there. What do you think, sir?
True. So I think there's two ways to it, right? So if I was the owner of the app, let's say this third party app that I have, in which you can make your own fantasy team and you can win rewards, right? There's two ways I can do this. One is I can make it a profit machine where I charge someone 100, 200 rupees for the whole year. And then at the end, whoever wins, that one person will get a lot of money together, right? And the second thing I can do is I can just have a small fee, like 50 rupees just for registration, and then give them rewards which are not just money, which the rewards can be spend a day with the champions in their city or visit the last match, like the final of the IPL in a special box, right? So that's what FPL does. What they do is uh, when you register for the app, they'll ask you your favorite team, they'll ask you which region you're from, all of your contact details and everything. And every time you win something, so let's say there's a Player of the Month award, or there is a Player of the Year. I mean, whoever wins the FPL at the end of the year. So recently, it was something they did, and they have some really good marketing strategies, by the way. So something that they did recently is we have chips, and in that one chip there is something called triple captain. I don't know if you are familiar with the captaincy rules. If you captain a player, any points that that player scores in that week, it doubles.
Same
But this,
in that
yeah,
application is also being, yeah, I agree.
okay. So it's similar in this, right?
Yeah, yeah. Even vice
Yeah.
captain gets 1.5. Is it the case? Your
No,
team?
vice captain, the only reason we keep a vice captain is if our captain doesn't play that week, then
Okay.
there's a backup captain basically, right? Then there's one chip that you get and only get it once a year. It's called triple captain. It means you can captain someone and you'll get three times the points. Now, in the Premier League, there are times where matches are cancelled due to bad weather or because that team has to go to another country to play a game or something. So towards the end of the year, around this time, there are times where they have to play 2 games in 1 week, 3 or 4 days apart. So the benefit for us is that there might be a player who's playing 2 games in 1 game week. So he's getting 2 games ka points in 1 game week, which is a good thing, especially somebody who's in form. So if you think he's going to score a hat trick in both the games, that's like 50 points without the captain, by the way. So if you captain him, it's 100, and if you triple captain him, it's 150 points, which is
Right.
crazy. Trust me, like people, like in terms of rankings, there are about 11 million players in total, and literally the ranks are split by like one point. So like if you look at the top 1%, you'll go from like 2,500 points to like 2,490 or something, the top 100 players. Just this 10 points kind of difference in 100 players. And if you go further down, you'll find like literally 70,000 people have the same number of points, so that's how difficult it becomes. So like if I have to charge someone just to make sure that the app is funded and I can hire people to maintain it, then I think that's not a bad thing. But if I'm doing it to make it look like a gambling site where you can make money quickly, or let's say I'm keeping promotional events where it says this week whoever gets the most points will get a trip to Virat Kohli's restaurant and meet him for like 5 minutes or something. But you have to pay 1,000 rupees to enter that tournament, like, or to enter that contest, right? And then as the owner of the app, I'm assuming that okay, 1,000 people will join and I'll get 1,000 rupees per person and I'll get that much money. So if I'm doing it that way, then I think there needs to be some regulation in place through the government itself, right? To make sure that they don't take advantage of people, people don't lose money for something that is technically considered betting, because I think betting is illegal in India, right?
Yeah.
So I think one loophole they found is instead of making it like a betting app, they've made it into a game of skill. I think game of skill is something that is allowed,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So I had done some research on this because earlier I was interested in how betting apps work, because England and generally European countries are very heavy on betting apps. Like even their sponsors on their shirt are like mostly betting apps, right? That's how they make a lot of their money. So I had done some research, but I think it's good that India has these betting rules. I think it's responsible of them, I
Yeah,
would say.
even though I also feel that there are, I mean, many more taxes are already being, onto this, but I don't know how these companies are making it more bigger and having on board a lot of good players as a big brand investor. It means they have a lot of huge investment getting to that because they know
Yes,
that, the youth are being indulged into that, and somewhere what's so matter, everybody needs a really great money within a less time. So definitely, if they create a big funnel, in that few people fall, and that's how they generate money. What I feel.
and you don't need a lot of people, honestly. Like, because even if you have like a 10 rupee buy-in, let's say you get 50,000 people, that's a lot of money. That's 5 lakh rupees right there. I mean, obviously, they want more money than that because they're a company, but I'm just saying the scale doesn't have to be that big for them. They can spread it out evenly towards a lot of people, and they can run one ad on Instagram or show one advert on like in between games or something. And I think they should get enough traction to recoup their money, I would say.
Right. Like, I mean, that was the problem once they were not being none, but this time they are already active, user base. So they do not run money, or they do not run to any kind of advertisement on any kind of social media, because once the season comes like IPL or what cricket, so definitely people are being there actively, heavily investing. And you would be surprised to know that once I was just, in 2 or 3 experience what I'm having on those applications, I saw that there are 1 CR people, can join a particular room. And the match was, I guess, at 7:30 p.m. I was just seeing at 6:30 p.m. And only 80 lakhs people are being guessed. I thought, okay, now I have enough room to make it, leave it for 20 minutes, come after research. Once I again come to make my team, I just saw and I got, oh my God, blank that only 20,000 seats are being left. And that match was for only 49. Now make a calculation. Oh my God, I was surprised. 1 CR person multiplied by 50 easily in a match only. I'm just talking about a single match. They are making so much money. But yeah, definitely it needs a lot of money to build that application, to manage that.
Definitely.
Lots of things are involved. Yeah.
Yeah. The maintenance, and I'm sure they have to pay some sort of image rights to like whatever teams images they're using, their jerseys or their names. They have to pay some sort of royalty or copyright
Yep.
Something, I'm not sure the licensing terms, how they work in India, but it makes sense. Okay. So we have about a minute or two left. I know this conversation just flew by because we
Oh
were
my God,
constantly talking.
it's been
Yeah.
40 minutes. That's the
20.
20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, 20
But
minutes.
really, I did not realize that it's been 20 minutes. Time flies.
This is what
Really.
happens when you have fun.
Yeah, yeah, and the same interest. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really, I can say that the power of communication. That what person wanted to talk, if you encourage them to talk about that, so definitely, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Okay. So before we end the session, do you have any questions for me?
yeah. Like now, I get a lot of questions, but because of time constraint, let me ask few of them because I feel that you also have a good communication skill. You could guide audience in a very good manner. So I do have a couple of questions in my mind. What I usually ask with the person who I feel that they can answer those questions in better than. Suppose, I mean, I am actively investing my time into better at my communication. In what sense I get that fluency to interact with somebody, but once it comes to make elaboration on particular topics where I had not been practiced, even though I'm aware, like suppose take any random topics, you just ask me, hey, Anshuman, could you please uh, elaborate your thought on a particular topic? Even I'm being aware with that, take time management or whatever things. So how we can take that random and impromptu situation in a good manner to make our conversation effective or to make our presentation effective. Suppose I just ask this question to you, how you gonna to approach that?
So let's say someone brings up a topic and you don't know anything about the topic, right? The first thing I would say is if you're blank and you don't know what to say, don't waste time and just tell them, hey, I don't know too much about this. Like when we were talking, you told me about the apps, and the question was about apps when you started talking about the players and the teams. And I said, I haven't really watched IPL other than the first 2, 3 years, and I'm completely clueless about the drafts and which team has which players at the moment. But I'm following this football thing and this is how the app works. So this is how you should divert the conversation to always make sure that you are continuing the conversation. The worst thing you can do is say, yeah, I don't know anything about that, and then just be quiet. Because then the pressure is on the other person to be like, yeah, why don't you ask me an interesting question? No, I'm sure that was an interesting question. Just because you don't know the answer doesn't mean that you don't talk about it. We try to divert it, we try to find common interests. This is what I like to call circle of interest. So, like, if this is the topic and you don't know the topics, you don't know what to say, just find something around it, right? So, I didn't know anything about the Indian fantasy app, right? How to create the teams or how it works with money. But I know the English one. So I told you how that works, how forming a team works, how it has 11 million people, how, you know, the ranks are separated very, scarcely, like a lot of points are spread out between millions and millions of ranks. So the fact that we spoke about this and then we spoke about other interests like cricket and how the betting industry works. So basically, just because you don't know this doesn't mean you can't talk about anything else around it, right? So if I ask you something about banking and you have absolutely no clue how to, what to say or how to say it, you can talk to me about how your brother has a credit card and he has gotten a really good deal on something, or he gets airline miles every time he spends his money, right? So something, even if it's something close to it, you can be honest about it. You can say, I don't know this, but the only thing I heard is XYZ. This is what I've heard. Or the only experience that I have is ABC, whatever it is. So just
God.
because you don't know the answer, a lot of people start panicking and
Uh-huh.
they stumble, they give random answers, or they just run away sometimes. And I don't blame them. It can be scary when you're initially starting out, right? So make sure you continue the conversation, make them feel comfortable, talk anything around it, but be honest about it that I don't know. This is what I know though. If you want to talk about this, we can continue, or we can change the topic.
Great. Thank you, Divyang. Like that was the even the example you give that really demonstrated the whole scenario that how we can adopt this thing in practicality.
It's easy. Trust me. That's what I'm saying. People just need to practice.
Correct.
Put
Yeah.
yourself in uncomfortable situations and
Mm.
keep practicing how to talk around it. That's it. It's not that difficult. We do it in Hindi, English. We do it in Hindi and all of our regional languages. We just don't know how to translate that skill into a different language. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Everything is starts with discomfortability. But really, I
Definitely.
mean, I'm really amazed to know that it's been really 20 minutes and time got flew up and yeah, it
Yeah.
was really great time to talk to you and got so many things done by you. Thank you.
Definitely, this was fun. Hopefully, we'll get to meet again and continue this conversation.
Yeah, very soon. I'm looking forward to connect you again. Thank you for your
Lovely.
time.
Thank you so much. It was lovely meeting you, and I hope to see you soon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye bye.